We're now looking at another case of a quadratic surface. We are considering the form of the equation where we have ax squared plus by squared plus cz squared is equal to some constant d, and d is greater than 0. And a, b, and c do not all have the same sign. In this example, we're looking at the situation where two of the variables are negative and one of them is positive. If two of those coefficients are negative and one is positive, we're going to end up with a hyperboloid of two sheets. And so let's graph this equation. So the strategy that we're going to use is we are going to look at the trace curves in each of the coordinate planes and then try to piece that together in three-dimensional space. So the first thing let's look at is the xy coordinate plane, and in order to determine the trace curve in the xy plane, we're going to look at the equation of the xy plane, which is z is equal to 0, and use that as a substitution in the quadratic surface equation to see what that intersection curve is. So when we plug z is equal to 0 into the equation, we get x squared over 9 minus y squared over 4, and that's going to then be equal to 1, and we hopefully recognize this as being a hyperbola, so we're going to get a hyperbola in the xy plane. Let's get a quick graph of this. So this is our xy plane here, and we're going to be centered at the origin, moving 3 units in the direction of x, 2 units in the direction of y, and then we're going to make our box here, and then cross the box with the diagonals going from corner to corner. These are going to end up being the asymptotes of the hyperbola. And since our hyperbolic equation has the x value that's positive, that means our hyperbola is going to open in the direction of x, and these two will be our vertices. So we'll approach these asymptotes opening in the direction of x. In two-dimensional space, our ordered pairs that are the vertices are 3, 0, and negative 3, 0. When we take this over to 3D, we will then add in the fact that the z-coordinate of those ordered triples will be also 0. Next, let's look at the trace curve in the xz plane, and in order to do that, we are going to use the equation of the xz plane, which is y is equal to 0, as a substitution in the equation of the quadratic surface. So we plug in y is equal to 0 to see what that intersection curve will be, or that trace curve. So we end up with the equation x squared over 9 minus z squared is equal to 1, which is again a hyperbola. So let's get a quick graph of that, and as a reminder, I like labeling my coordinate axes to remember which plane it is that I'm working in. This is the xz plane, so I'll label my axes with x and z. I'm going to move 3 units in the direction of x and 1 unit in the direction of z this time, and then draw my rectangular box to get the diagonals that will be the asymptotes of this hyperbola. Now, since our x-coordinates, or our x value in the equation, is the one that's positive, we're going to be opening in the direction of x again. And these are our vertex points. So let's label these vertices again. This is going to be 3 is the x-coordinate, 0 is the z-coordinate, and when we take it to 3D, we'll also put 0 as the y-coordinate, because this is the y equals 0 plane, or the xz plane, and then we have negative 3, 0 here. Again, that's an x and a z coordinate. So we have hyperbolas in both of these coordinate planes. Let's look then at the yz plane. So the equation of the yz plane is x is equal to 0, so we're going to plug that in as a substitution. When x is equal to 0, we get the equation negative y squared over 4 minus z squared over 1 is equal to 1, and this is actually going to be problematic for us. Let's take another look at this. It might be a little more recognizable as to what's going on if we were to multiply both sides of these by a negative 1, so that we end up with a positive y squared over 4 plus z squared over 1 is equal to negative 1. And it might be a little more obvious from here that there are no real solutions to this equation, because there's squared variable here, which is always positive, a squared variable here, which is always positive. And if I'm adding two always positive things together, there's no way I'm going to get a negative output out of that. So what we'll see here is that there is no trace curve in the YZ plane. So let's take a quick look at three-dimensional space here to see if we can understand or interpret that. So the YZ plane is this back wall here where there is no movement in the direction of x. Essentially, x is equal to 0 is the equation of the YZ plane. But what would happen if we were to slide our slicing plane out a little bit? Maybe not x is equal to 0, but let's slice with something a little bit farther out here, like perhaps x is equal to, let's say, 5. So if we slice with this plane x is equal to 5, do we get a trace curve in this plane? Again, it's a trace curve because it would be a curve of intersection that is obtained by slicing with a plane that is parallel to one of the coordinate planes. X is equal to 5 would be parallel to the YZ plane, so any intersection curve in this plane would be a trace curve. So in order to find the trace curve in the plane x is equal to 5, we're basically going to plug in x is equal to 5 into the equation of the quadric surface. If we plug in x is equal to 5 here, we're going to get 25 divided by 9 minus y squared over 4 minus z squared is equal to 1. Now, let's subtract 25 over 9 from both sides to see if we can get a better idea of what's happening in this slicing plane. So, on the left-hand side, we have negative y squared over 4 minus z squared is equal to 9 over 9 minus 25 over 9 is going to be negative 16 over 9. And now everything is negative, so if I multiply by negative 1, I'm going to end up with the equation positive y squared over 4 plus z squared over 1 is equal to positive 16 over 9. And this is an equation that actually does have solutions. It is an ellipse, and in order to get the equation, the standard equation of the ellipse, we'll need to get a positive 1 over here on the far right-hand side. So we'll divide both sides by 16 over 9 to get our standard form of the equation of an ellipse. So I'm going to actually bring this up here to finish. We have on the left-hand side 1/4 divided by 16/9. That's going to be a little tricky. Let's actually come over here and look at that specifically. So y squared over 4 divided by 16 over 9 is going to be y squared over 4 times 9 over 16. So this is 9y squared divided by 64, which is the same thing as y squared divided by 64 over 9, right? Y squared times 9 over 64 is the same thing as y squared divided by 64 over 9. So we have y squared divided by 64 over 9 as our first term, plus z squared divided by 16 over 9 as our second term, and then we finally have the desired positive 1 over here on the right, which gets me into the standard form of the equation of an ellipse. So in the plane, x is equal to 5, which is a plane that is parallel to the YZ plane. So let's kind of just draw it like this. We're going to have an ellipse centered at the origin, traveling square root of 64 over 9 is 8/3. 8/3 is a little bit more than 2, so we're going to be moving a little bit more than 2 in the direction of y, and then in the direction of z, we're going to be moving the square root of 16/9. Square root of 16/9 is 4/3. That's 1 1/3, so we're moving a little bit more than 1 in the direction of z. Again, this is an ellipse, so we're going to connect these dots with an ellipse. And finally, we are ready to kind of go into the three-dimensional space to try and piece all of this together. So just as a reminder, in the XY plane, we had a hyperbola. In the YZ plane, we had a hyperbola. Both of them were opening in the direction of x. So the XY plane is the floor, and we were opening in the direction of x with our vertices at x is equal to 3. So we have hyperbolas in the floor like this. And in the xz plane, we also had hyperbolas opening in the direction of x, so we're kind of looking like this. When we sliced with the plane x is equal to 0, we got no trace, right? So there's no trace curve in the yz plane, but when we took our slicing plane out here, we actually saw that when we sliced it with the plane x is equal to 5, we ended up with an elliptical trace curve, right? So an elliptical trace curve in this direction. So it looks like what we have is an elliptical hyperboloid of two sheets. And so now we're going to take this into GeoGebra to check our answer. So here we are in GeoGebra, and we are going to select the 3D graphing calculator feature and then input the equation that we originally started with, which is x squared divided by 9 minus y squared divided by 4 minus z squared is equal to 1. And we can see that we do have an elliptical hyperboloid of two sheets. Two sheets meaning that there is a separation between these two parts. If we were to look straight down on the x-axis, looking as if we were slicing with a constant x plane, we do see that we have ellipses in that direction. And if we were to slice with a constant y plane, so looking straight down on y, so I've got constant y values, then I do have hyperbolas from that direction, and then looking down at constant z, so looking at the z-axis straight on, we see hyperbolas in that direction as well. Let's also notice that if we were to slice this surface with the x is equal to 5 plane and then take a look at what that cross-section looks like, that does yield the elliptical trace curve that we found algebraically. So I'm feeling pretty good about our graph.